Oh! So the day has finally come where I'm going to show you around my new office. This will be my third office video on this channel, third office tour video. The first one was many years ago. That was a what's in my bag / office video. And then that office got destroyed in a flood and had to be rebuilt. So I did a second office video with the new sort of layout. And then I've moved house, moved into a new building, and I have a new office. Now the reason I'm mentioning this is because I think from the first setup to the second setup to the third setup, this one, I've learnt a lot. And I've learned what works and what doesn't work. And you know, if I had, you know, in an ideal world, I'd want this setup and so on and so forth. Well, I'm sort of almost there. So hopefully you're going to learn a few tips and maybe get some ideas from this video. If you're thinking about setting up an office or even just setting up a desk or even, you know, little things, I'm going to talk about this and all sorts of little bits and pieces. So yeah. Lots to come in this video, and I think it's going to be a bit of a long one, so you might want to go and put the kettle on. So starting with the space itself, it's essentially a bedroom. It's a big sized room, and the space is excellent because my old office was 10 foot by 10 foot, which was tiny. This is much more spacious, and I actually have a second office, which you're not going to get to see today. And the second office houses all of my battery chargers, my camera bags, all of the mess and clutter. And that's what was so important to me, was I can't stand clutter and mess. I need a clean, empty space to work, and that is what I've created here, kind of. So having a room this big allows me to have a large desk, and the large desk is in the middle of the room. It's an L-shaped desk, and the beauty of that is now that I can walk around it, which means I can access the back of my computers. There's nothing worse, well there's lots of things worse, but I hated reaching around the back of my computer, pulling out USBs and trying to plug them in, and you'd pull out the wrong one. It's an absolute nightmare. And now I've got the luxury of being able to walk around the back and completely 360 around my entire setup, including lighting, camera, everything, to access all the bits and pieces that you might need to. And that for me is just a real pleasure. Now I'm not one who likes to spend a lot of money on stuff that doesn't need money spending on it. I looked online at large L-shaped desks, and I wanted an L shape so I can work here, talk to you here, put stuff here. And big L-shaped desks are expensive. So of course I did what pretty much most people do, and what most people should do, is go to IKEA. And I spent very little on this desk. Basically I have 3 sort of storage units that are really cheap. I think they were £25 each. Basic shelving storage units that just so happen to be the perfect desk height. I've got 3, so I've got one on the end here, one on the end here, and kind of one in the middle supporting the corners. And they are secured with screws so that they don't slip slide all over the place. And then I just bought 2 desktops, and these were, I want to say 40 quid each. Can't remember, 40 or 50 pounds each. Maybe less, maybe 30, they weren't that expensive. And you just stick these on top of the shelving units and you have a large, spacious desk. On my back wall I have an array of artwork, some by myself, some by other people, and yes, I have a woolly hat in a frame. Now I didn't really want to mention this, but I'm going to anyway. Last week in my video, everybody kicked off because a viewer made me a hat and then I offered to give it away. Now I think that was unfair. Although I kind of get it, but you know, people were just too fast to judge and too fast to just jump to conclusions. I got called ungrateful and all kinds of nasty comments on that video, and I thought it was just very, very unfair because the person who made me the hat wrote me a letter and they said if the hat doesn't fit, you can give it away. Now my bad for not saying that in the video, but online people do have a tendency to just blurt stuff out. Just so you know, I'm not giving away the hat, not because some toxic people left some nasty comments, but I am not going to give away the hat because the person who made me the hat left a comment defending me and she, as a joke, suggested that I frame it as a tribute to the hat that is missing. And if you don't know the whole hat story, I had a hat, I loved it, I lost it, I was gutted. Somebody managed to replicate the hat. Unfortunately, it didn't fit anyway. And now I've taken her joke on board, and actually the hat is in a frame. So I framed the hat as a homage to the hat that got lost. So I'm sorry to say that I am doing a massive U-turn and I'm not giving away the hat. Right, let's talk about this setup. We have a camera, we have lighting, we have a microphone, we have more lights up here and lights on the back wall. This is a great setup. In my old office, I had a single ring light and it was okay, it did the job. But I wanted something better. I also wanted something permanent. That was so important for me. In my old office, if I wanted to make a video like this, I'd have to get the tripod out, put the camera on the tripod, get the microphone out, get the light out, and then I'd do it. And it was hard work, it was annoying, everything got in the way, and it was difficult conditions to film in. So with the new office, I wanted a permanent setup, and that's exactly what we have here. The first thing I did was go out and purchase floor-to-ceiling tension stands. These are what decorators use, and they're really cheap. These are off Amazon. I got 2 of them, and I can't remember how much they were, but they were inexpensive. And then mounted with G-clamps from one tension pole to the other is a crossbar. This is from a DIY shop. It was really cheap. It was about 10 or 15 pounds, and it's supposed to be used as a shower rail or something like that, but it's the perfect diameter for all of my clamps. Now on that crossbar I have a light clamped here, a light clamped here, my camera clamped here, and my microphone clamped here. So there's this permanent setup, so I never need to change anything. And the reason I'm using these floor-to-ceiling stands is because tripods have such a huge footprint. I didn't want that. I just wanted clean, simple, and I wanted to be able to add to it when and where I needed. I also have a boom pole mounted to this tension stand over here with a hair light lighting my hair. One of the best purchases I made was the battery for this camera. Now it's not a battery, it's a power supply. So this camera now never needs recharging. In my old office, I used to do videos like this, the battery would run out, I wouldn't have any spares because I'm disorganized and it would be a complete disaster. But now this is always just, you know, switch it on and you're good to go. All of the lights remain fixed and everything comes from one power source. So I literally turn on the plug socket and the whole studio comes to life. I have a light bar on the side wall over here. That is throwing light onto the back wall, illuminating that. And it just makes all of the difference. My microphone is the same microphone I use when I'm vlogging. It's just this, it's a Rode Video Micro, but without the dead cat on. And I've put that on a little clamp, a little magic arm, and it's much closer to my mouth than it would be if it was mounted on top of the camera. The camera is a Canon 200D, my old 200D that I retired because I broke it with salt water, but since then it seems to be working again, and now it's working fine. So it's my desk camera and it's blooming fantastic. Now I want to talk very quickly about the lighting that I have. I have 2 panel lights here in front of me. This one on the right is slightly brighter than this one on the left. That's just to give me a little bit of depth, and because there's always more space at this side of the screen. So it makes sense that the light is coming from that direction, but the most important light is the one that's mounted above my head on a boom pole. That is a hair light. Now I just want to show you the difference with and without the hair light. So this is me now with the hair light, and this is me looking bemused without the hair light. And you can see it really lifts, it casts light onto my head and onto my shoulder here, and it just gives that definition, that separation between me and the background. I also think the light on the side wall throwing onto the background is also very important and lifts the whole scene. I mentioned before that the microphone is just a little Video Micro. Now, one problem I had in my last office was echo. It was a very small office, there was no real soft furniture in there, so it was very echoey. And this room was also echoey, and then a gentleman got in touch. That gentleman was called Jim. And Jim is a long-time viewer of the channel, and he owns a company called The Broadcast Room, which deals with soundproofing. They work with music studios, large art venues and museums and all kinds of stuff. And he said he thought he could help because my videos were still quite echoey, because just behind the camera there is just a wall, it's plaster, and my voice bounces back off that. And he was kind enough to donate to me some soundproofing quilts. And these are amazing. I've put them all across the back wall. They're non-destructive, they're just stuck on with Velcro, so it's so simple because I'm terrible at DIY. And it really does make a big difference. Now, I want to make this very clear. Jim didn't want anything in return. He didn't want any promotion or anything at all. He simply wanted to help me with the echo that was in my office because he's a viewer of my channel. But I'm giving him a shout out because it's really nice of him to send me these quilts, and they look great and they really do help with the sound. Another thing that helps with the sound is this. I was chatting to Nick Page before Christmas at the Out of Moab conference, and he told me that most echo issues when he records his podcasts are it's the echo coming off the desk, because you're on a hard desk and you speak and it bounces and all that sort of stuff. So I had some of these spare foam squares, these foam things that you buy off Amazon, and you're supposed to stick them to your wall, but I think they look really ugly. So I had some spare that I never really used, so I glued them, oh god, I glued them to a piece of card, and whenever I record a video like this, I just place this on my desk in front of me. Just let me get this. And yeah, it stops the bounce coming off the desk and into the microphone. So this and the back quilts on the wall there make all of the difference. While we're on the subject of audio, I like to do some voiceovers when I'm making my videos, and I have, speaking of fixed permanent setup, there we go, I have a voiceover mic. This is a Rode NT. Yeah, this was a gift from Ben Horn, good old Ben Horn, absolute legend, sent me this, and I bought a stand that clamps onto my desk and it moves up, down, around, side, everything. So when I want to record a voiceover, swing it over, do my thing with the soundproofing down here on the desk, and then when I'm done, I just move it out of the way. It's fantastic. So yeah, again, I'm going to reiterate this. For my workflow, it's important that everything was in place, set up, ready to go. Basically, minimal faffing. That's what I wanted. That was the theme of my office, minimal faff. And I'm pretty sure I've achieved that. Okay, let's talk about the big guns. We're going to talk about my computer and my monitor now. Currently in my office, I have two computers on my desk. This is my old iMac and this is my new iMac. Now, the old iMac served me well for a good 5 or 6 years, until about 6 months ago when I updated to High Sierra. The whole thing just fell apart. Why did Apple do it? I'm pretty sure they do it on purpose so that mugs like me buy a new computer. In fact, I'm almost certain that that's what they do. But, you know, I'm a sucker and I'm rubbish at tech, so that's why I like Macs, because they just work. So yeah, that was dying a death. The screen's all cracked. When I edited videos on this iMac, the old one, Adobe Premiere would honestly consistently crash 3 times a day, like just crash, and it was so frustrating. So it got to the point where I needed a new computer. Now, I told you I was a bit stingy and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a desk, so I made it myself, sort of. I was the same with the computer. But yeah, I don't mean to flex, I just feel quite guilty about this, but I bought an iMac Pro. I don't even know if I needed an iMac Pro. I could have just bought the normal iMac and probably not seen too much of a difference, but I looked at reviews and the iMac Pro, it was so expensive. It was like 4.5 grand. I know it's ridiculous, but I do so much editing day in, day out that I just wanted something that would work and would be fast, and more importantly, that would be future-proof. So given that the sort of cheaper iMac, apparently you could hear some fan noise, which is no good when I'm recording videos. This is completely silent. Better speakers, which is great for editing my videos. A few little things, and the fact that it was future-proof meant that it was a tough pill to swallow, but I did. I got the iMac Pro. It's the base model, but still, 4.5 grand. It's ridiculous, I know. But I have to say, it's flipping fantastic, although it did crash once and it crashed badly, and if it happens again, I'm actually going to contact Apple and might have to send it back. But I was editing a video and the computer just shut down. Just poof, shut down. Not slowly shutting down, not, hi Thomas, I'm closing down now. No, like I thought it was a power cut. Gone. And then it fired back up and said, due to a problem in your computer shut down. No idea, I've only had it a few weeks, not a clue why, but I lost about 2 hours worth of editing and it really scared me. Well, that was embarrassing. I'm gonna have to interrupt this video because whilst editing this video that you're watching now, the one where I just said my brand new iMac Pro shut down unexpectedly without any warning, and it's happened once. Well, it's just happened again and I've lost the entire project. My bad for not saving it, but I'm always so used to Adobe doing automatic saves. So yeah, my brand new iMac Pro is just, when I'm editing on Adobe Premiere, my iMac Pro, poof, shuts down. It's done it twice now. Who's to blame, Adobe or Apple? I have no idea. This is going to be fun. I'm going to email them both, and maybe I'll keep you posted. I honestly don't know, but so annoying, and the fact that I've just mentioned it in this video, and now I have to record this piece in my dressing gown, because I always edit in my dressing gown. Right, back to the video. Sorry guys. So that's the iMac. This bad boy, this is my second monitor. Now, in the interest of transparency, I did not pay for this monitor. This was given to me by BenQ, and both legally and morally, I have to tell you that. And I want to tell you that because I didn't buy this. However, here's the thing. Honestly, when I got my new office and my new desk, I knew I wanted a twin monitor setup. I wanted 2 monitors. And I was looking and browsing online at all the different monitors, looking at all the different reviews, and this was just before Christmas. And I'd pretty much made my mind that I was going to go for a BenQ. And then, I don't know, maybe they've got some sort of voodoo stuff on their website, I'm not sure, but out of the blue, a few days later, a guy from BenQ contacts me and says, "Oh, do you want to try one of our monitors?" And I was like, how did you know? So I said, do you know what, it just so happens that I was looking at getting your monitor, so absolutely, I'll try one, for sure. So, yeah, I've got this monitor, and it's fantastic. I was looking at the 32-inch, but decided in the end on the 27, so it's the same as the iMac. And hang on, I'm not a tech guy, hang on. Right, 99% Adobe RGB color space with, and here's the important part, IPS technology. Don't know what that is. 27-inch, 4K, high dynamic range. I know some other stuff here. Yeah, there we go, 10-bit color display. All this means nothing to me, nothing. But what I do know is that these are well-respected monitors, and after having used it for a month or so, yeah, I can say that it's fantastic, and I hope they don't ask for it back because I don't know what I'd do without it. It's fantastic. I have calibrated my iMac and this BenQ monitor identically, but they still look a little bit different, and that's to be expected. This is 5K, this is 4K, this is a sort of high gloss retina display, this is a matte display. Now here's the thing, when I am going to post an image online and do the main editing to an image, most of the time I'm looking at the iMac, but I do reference the BenQ. But as soon as I want to print that photograph, I totally ignore the iMac and I go straight to the BenQ because it's a matte monitor. It gives you incredibly accurate colours of how it's going to look in print. So it's fantastic to have the two side by side, but it's great to have two slightly different versions. They're very, very similar, but this one is far more accurate in terms of print, what comes out of my printer, than this, which is far more accurate as to what most people are going to see when they look at your pictures on a phone or on another laptop or something like that. So it's great having them both. And this, when you're editing a portrait image, which I'm not at the moment, but when I am, you can spin it around and you can flip it to portrait mode and you've got all of that extra space, and I find that invaluable, and I don't know how I'd go back to another system because I use this so much. In the back of my iMac I have a 2 terabyte SD external hard drive. I used to keep all my media and catalogues on this, but it's full. So I needed a new one. It's old, it's full. So I splashed out and got an SSD drive because I thought, I've got a new computer, I might as well get a fast drive, and I've got this tiny little SanDisk SSD drive. It was very expensive, extortionately expensive actually, it was about 500 quid, but it's super fast, super reliable, really small, really lightweight, and it is my lifeline. It holds everything. Nothing is kept on this iMac. Everything that I have that's important to me is on that little drive, and that's so I can migrate from a laptop to an iMac seamlessly. And that's how I've always done it. But just upgrading to SSD means everything's faster and I think more secure, more robust. Of course, that SSD drive is backed up to a time machine, which is, I don't know, like maybe a 12 terabyte time machine that I just keep plugged into this all the time, constantly backing up that, and all of my raw files are backed up on Amazon Prime. So yeah, I'm pretty well locked down with my redundancy. When I was talking about the monitor before, I mentioned that I use it to do my prints, and over in the corner just there is my scanner and my printer. Now I haven't used the scanner for a while, but I have just been out shooting some film, so that'll be used shortly, and you can do super high res scans of film on there, which is fantastic. But next to the scanner is my printer, my Canon Pro 1000, and that's great. It's on my old desk in the corner of the room by the window, so when I knock out a print, I can just hold it up in the natural light of the window and instantly see whether it's good or bad or whatever, and it's great to inspect under different light sources, ambient room light, studio lights, and natural daylight. So earlier on in the video I mentioned this. This is a pencil. That's right, a pencil. I got an email from a gentleman called Philip, and he said, "Tom, I've found a product that you might like. And it's a pencil that signs prints. It signs all prints." And I was like, no, not such a thing doesn't exist. You can't sign a glossy Barita with a pencil. Turns out, you flipping well can. And I said to Philip, Philip, I'm going to order one. And if indeed this does sign my prints, you, sir, are my hero. So Philip, I'm happy to say, you're my hero. This pencil is from Amazon. It costs £1.56, I think, or £1.50, something like that. And it signs on my glossy Barita paper. Now, I struggled because I couldn't sign prints with a normal pencil. Obviously you can sign the matte prints like the smooth cotton paper, you can sign with a pencil, but you couldn't sign the glossy prints or the semi-gloss prints. So I had to use a pen, which the pen looks pretty good, a nice light grey water-based ink, and it was fantastic. But really deep down I wished it was a pencil. Now I have said pencil, so from this day forth all of my prints will be signed and numbered using this pencil, and I will be retiring the pens. So yeah, awesome. If you do prints and you sell prints and you sign prints and you write on prints, this is an investment well worth making. £1.56. So that's pretty much it with my office video. Naturally, I'm gonna link below to all of the stuff, or most of the stuff. This video is supposed to be going live in an hour and a half, so I don't think I'll have time to link to everything. In fact, I'm almost certain it's going to be late. But yeah, I'm gonna link to lots of stuff. They will be affiliate links, just so we're clear on that, but that's not my reason for making the video. And besides, I only affiliate link to stuff that I actually use and buy myself. So yeah, there'll be links to everything below, and I hope you've got some sort of tips from this video and little bits and pieces, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope we can all move on from Hatgate. But yeah, join me next time on Wednesday, where I do a massive hike in the Lake District and only take one image, which I'm still undecided as to whether or not I'm going to show in the video, because I don't know if I like it or not. But yeah, lots to come, lots to come. And then I've just spent a week in Scotland in the camper van in the best conditions I have seen in a long time. So I'm so excited about all the future content that's coming up on this channel. But for now, I'm going to go. So, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.